Hello, Adora Alfie here, and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. So, in the last episode, we were playing around designing Edgemaster a little bit. I mean, I haven't really gone too far. We put some engines on it, we got some guns up here, but that's about it, right? However, it's gonna take a few more materials, especially like the fusion reaction stuff, and I need to ship them in from Aquilo, the gun, real guns as well, right? So that's gonna take a bit of time to get made and everything. So while we're waiting for all the materials for Edgemaster to get shipped and made, I am kind of thinking about redoing Walker. So Walker is the first space platform we built. I have changed it a little bit, but it's basically designed to make space science, right? And it doesn't even have any engines, it just stays in place, collects any drifting asteroids, and makes space science. Unfortunately, if it stays in place, it does heavily limit how many asteroids it can collect. I can make it just like bigger and make it collect a few more asteroids that way, but it's a lot more efficient if I just make it move around and collect asteroids between planets, right? So in order to do that, I want to redesign Walk over here. However, I don't only want it to collect asteroids to make space science, I kind of want to make it multifunctional, and I'm thinking of maybe expanding it so that I can use it to make legendary asteroids, right? Because if you make legendary asteroids, we will be able to make legendary iron ore, legendary copper ore, legendary carbon, and legendary sulfur, which we can use to make legendary coal, which we can use to make legendary plastic, and yeah, I think that's the main things. Legendary calcite I think, is important too. But yeah, we can make all of those things with legendary asteroids. I'll go a bit more into it once I finish redesigning Walker, but the first thing I want to do is expand it so we can make more space science, because right now it's a bit limited. And then after that, I'm going to expand it so that it can make more things like legendary asteroids and stuff, right? Anyway, I'm going to put a cut here, and I'll be right back after I finish making the new spaceship. I think, yeah, it's going to take a bit of time, so I'll just like put a cut here. I'll see you guys then! Okay, and I am back. So I made a few changes. Walker is currently quite a bit bigger. I think like compared to my other ships, it might even be bigger than Bogwater. I think it's like on par with Edgemaster right now. It is very wide though. It's not going to be traveling to anywhere with the bigger asteroid, so it only has gun turrets. It doesn't need rockets, right? And yeah, let me just give you a tour. So in the center, obviously we have the hub. Right now it's picking up space science facts and also calcite, because I can technically make a bunch of calcite in space and ship it down to Novice. That way, like, the calcite demand from Vulcanus will go down, and Vulcanus can keep its calcite, right, basically? So I'm just making free calcite from space rocks. Hmm. Other than that, we have in the front all our gun turrets. I just have two layers of gun turrets. They're all rare because I've been making higher rarity gun turrets and stuff, right? But it's not too bad. We don't need much, this many even probably. And since we're not gonna be like operating this at like high speeds, right? I have all rare like asteroid collectors as well. So they have like 3 arms each, and yeah, they're like basically surrounding most of the ship. I don't have like them in the back because like the main point is to travel between planets, right? Around the ship I have both the ammo belt, which is this belt, and I also have like the asteroid belt, right? Like I have with all my other ships. And the asteroid belt, it comes over here. And it kind of like feeds into... Where is it? Yeah, so it combines with the asteroid belt from the right side, and it feeds into here, where it gets sorted into iron asteroids, metallic asteroids, I think? Yeah, metallic asteroids, carbonic asteroids, and the ice asteroids, right? I forget what the ice asteroids are called exactly. And after it splits them, there's another splitter, so it prioritizes going to the right, which is where we process the asteroids, and any like excess asteroids get sent over here, where they are either reprocessed, or they just like go back into the loop, right, without being reprocessed. And the loop has a bit of a buffer over here as well, where if you have like too many asteroids, even after reprocessing, it just tosses them out. If it has enough space in the buffer, it goes into the buffer, and it gets put back into like the sorter, right? It is like favoring stuff that's coming from the left over here, which is going to be stuff that's either being reprocessed, or it's going to favor stuff that's being made on the ship, right? Which is like this priority over here. And on the ship, we are taking all these asteroids that we are sorting. Ice, we are turning it into, well, the ice asteroids, right? We're turning into ice, and also calcite. The calcite is basically being monitored, and if I don't have enough calcite, the ice-only crusher is not actually outputting onto the belt, right? So if we have enough calcite, and we don't have enough ice usually, then this crusher will be putting ice onto the belt. So to make up for any lack of ice, I guess, or if you have too much calcite, that's what this is for. We're also like picking up calcite from here if we have more than 80 calcite. So if you have like calcite up to here, it's picking up any excess calcite and then sending it to our hub over here, and we're like exporting this to Novice. Right now it has like a bunch of calcite here because it is like doing the whole thing where like it exports stuff for 15 seconds and for 45 seconds it doesn't export anything, just to prevent like shuttle spam to Novice. After that, we have our carbonic asteroids over here, which is very simple because we don't need rockets, right? So I don't need sulfur. I did mention legendary sulfur, but that's for later, right? This is only to be used on the ship for defenses, fuel, and for making science. So we only need carbon for that. And other than that, we have metallic asteroids over here, which are being turned into copper and iron. I honestly should have probably made it this iron only, because we only need copper to make the, what was it, the armor-piercing rounds, right? And you can run this entire ship without armor-piercing rounds. Regular rounds are more than enough, I think. And they would have cut down a lot of like the processing and stuff too, so that would be an improvement. I don't think I want to change it right now, but it is something like worth thinking about, because it would make this ship a lot less complicated, right? It is monitoring the copper levels as well, so if it doesn't have enough copper, or if it has too much copper, it'll start directly making iron, right? Other than that, it's like not too fancy. We have copper smelting over here, that's making copper plates. We have iron and steel smelting over here, and that's basically just using foundries and the calcite we're making on the ship as well. Like I said, I could cut this all down to just iron, get rid of the steel over here, get rid of the copper over here. That would save so much space, and it would also save a lot of power, because these things are hella power hungry. And because we need to balance the iron and the copper, I do have a little bit of a system here, where if you have too much iron... Oh, I forgot to set this up properly. Whoops. This has to be copper. There we go. So if you have too much copper and not enough iron, it's gonna get rid of copper. If you have too much... Sorry, if you have too much copper and not enough iron, it's gonna get rid of copper. If you have too much iron and not enough copper, it'll get rid of iron, which is what we have over here. The first condition it's checking is, does it have too much iron? If it has too much iron, it puts it on this intermediary belt. And if it has not enough copper, it'll get rid of that iron, right? Same thing over here. If it has too much copper, it'll put it onto the belt. If we have not enough iron, it'll get rid of the copper, so it'll make more space to process more iron and stuff, right? Honestly, we don't really need this, because we have this like iron processing thingy, but yeah. So that's kind of set up. I could just get rid of this, honestly, but yeah, so that's how this works. Should I get rid of this? I want to set this to like a silly number of copper, so it'll never have more than that much copper, right? But yeah, so we have that going on. The iron and the steel gets sent over here. I think some of the iron gets taken off to make science, and the rest of the iron goes to make ammo, basically. The iron ore is used to make fuel, obviously, or oxidizer, and the carbon's used to make fuel back here. We have ammo being made here. The ammo belt is interesting because I have like a stacker, basically stacking it onto this belt, and then it goes both ways and it gets put on both sides of the belt. I'm basically doing this to increase the buffer size, right? Because it'll make the belts like buffer more ammo. So it's doing that with this stack and set and all these splitters over here. And I have it set up in a really weird way where like the ammo is starting from the back of the ship and going to the front of the ship. The reason I'm doing this is because I think like the back of the ship uses less ammo, right? And the front uses more ammo. So I'm making sure I'm supplying these, and these should like easily be saturated, right? So all the ammo will just find its way to the front and accumulate in the front of the ship. Our science setup is pretty straightforward. I just have two belts on one side with not copper, carbon and iron and ice. The ice is picked up from over here. And I think it only picks up ice if you have like enough ice, right? So if I have enough ice to satisfy this belt. Oh wait, I think I need to put more ice actually, because I changed this a little bit. So let's see. I think you should wait till we have like 80 ice or something. Yeah, wait till we have 80 ice. So if it has enough ice on this belt, then it'll take the extra ice and then give it to the science production. The science has a bunch of productivity modules, which I think might be a bit unnecessary, because resources are infinite in space, right? And I put a bunch of speed modules too, which is making it really, really power hungry. So I might rethink this and put some efficiency modules or something. Other than that, I do have a nuclear reactor because, like I said, everything's very power hungry with the foundries and everything, right? I only have one nuclear reactor. I've set it up like I always like set up my nuclear reactors with both like the fuel, and also the temperature, right? So if it doesn't have any fuel, it'll put fuel in, but it'll also check for the temperature. So one reactor, 4 heat exchangers, and 2 steam turbines each is what we have over here. Other than that, I think that's about it. Right now I have a lot of solar panels, and if you look at our power graph, in the last like 10 minutes or so, we aren't using a lot of solar power, right? I guess if you look over here, like steam power is the majority, and steam should be able to like support this entire ship. Steam as a nuclear, right? So I could get rid of all these solar panels and put my legendary asteroid reprocessing area over here, which is what I'm planning to do, right? So that's the plans for basically making legendary asteroids later. But for the time being, we're just making science, and we have the ship basically going between unloading on Novice for 15 seconds and then going to not unloading for 45 seconds. I want to add Fulgora to this list as well, which will basically make it go between Novice and Fulgora like once in a while, right? I'm not sure exactly what to do with like the scheduling for that. So yeah, I want to like try and figure something out with that. I might like do a counter for this, so maybe I'll do this like 10 times and then he'll like go to Fulgora, or maybe he'll like see if it has enough asteroids, and if it doesn't have enough asteroids, he'll go to Fulgora or something. But let me just show you what happens when we go to Fulgora. Fulgora. I'm just gonna send it to Fulgora and make it come back maybe later. I have set up the fuel to run at 400. So I think it roughly like averages around like 70% efficiency. Or like 75-ish maybe? Yeah. And I think it can go up to 111 kilometers per second, which is kind of slow. Given how wide the spaceship is and how big it is, right? And we only have 3 engines. It's not too bad though. I could put like 2 more engines on this if I want to on the sides, but I think this is okay for now. Let's see. Other than that, yeah. So all the asteroid catches really go to work. Having 3 asteroid arms on the front is really nice, because if any of these tiny little asteroid chunks hit our ship, they get destroyed, right? So we want to grab them as fast as possible, especially in the front. I could put a few more of these if I want to like make sure I'm not like missing any like over there. But I think for the most part, this is pretty good. The gun turrets are like hell overkill, but just think of it like an ammo buffer, I guess, right? But yeah, so that's how it goes. And you can see that once we have like too many asteroids, it goes into the reprocessing cycle. And on the reprocessing cycle, if this gets backed up, it'll start throwing them out of the spaceship, which probably isn't going to happen for a little while, but yeah. And now that it has more ice, it can actually process that and start doing things with all the calcite and everything. But that's basically how this ship works. Um, I do want to do the legendary stuff, and I'm not sure if I want to do it like right now or way after I finish making Edgemaster, because Edgemaster needs a lot of resources too. So I'll start working on that. I might set up the legendary asteroid harvesting, right? And then start working on Edgemaster after that. I still do need to get the legendary quality research before that. So that is something I do need to do. But we should be able to get it soon enough. But I think that's basically what I wanted to explain in this episode. I'm sorry it's going to be like a shorter episode, but I'm probably going to be doing a bunch more episodes like this where I'm just like kind of updating you guys on things I've been doing. Because like spending the whole episode making this ship probably would not be that interesting, right? Other than that, on Novice, I have been getting attacked quite a bit. So I want to expand my walls, right? I want to take these walls, put them way further out. I think I mentioned that in the last episode too, but that's going to take a bit of time. I might do like that in one episode as well. And the other thing I want to do is build up Edgemaster, right? So that's going to be a while too. Anyway, if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!